All right, thank you everybody for taking time out of your evening to join me on this call tonight. For our brand new talent, welcome to the team. We're very excited to have you. For our already established talent who is taking this kind of as a refresher course, we always appreciate you as well. This should only take about 15 minutes or so. I am going to open up the floor at the end for any questions. Again, if you don't have your phone on mute, if you could kindly do that just so that we have some minimal background noise, that would be great. And speaking of background noise, I am doing this call from home tonight, so I apologize to hear, my golden retriever being kind of loud in the background or anything like that. So thank you so much. All right, and we're going to get started. So for those of you who can see your screen, I'm just going to go through the slideshow that was attached. For those of you who are calling in on your phones, if you could have that up and follow along, that'd be great. So this is our on-premise guide. This is going to be confidential materials to be used only by Talent Tree brand ambassadors. And the next slide, you'll see that we actually have some Talent Tree videos that have actresses who portray exactly how you should be performing an event. So it goes through it, they act it out. It is a little bit cheesy at some points, but if you've never worked an event, I highly encourage you to watch it. It does show every single detail about how to do an event successfully. There is a password, and it is 12334456 when you're trying to access those files. So types of on-premise events. So I believe all of you are already established brand ambassadors and promo models. You've done this kind of stuff before, but for those of you who might not know, they're called on-premise events because the consumer has to consume the product on the premises. So this is going to be your bars and restaurants, golf tournaments, sporting events, any sort of special event or festival. Those are all considered on-premise events. Obviously, this is different from off-premise events because for those are typically in grocery stores or liquor stores. The consumer has to remove the product. They have to take it off the premises to consume. So that is that verbiage. So this next slide here, it talks about a team lead. If you're working with another girl or a group of girls, there's going to be a team lead. They have a bit more responsibility, so the pay rate is a little bit higher because they have some extra things that they need to do. If you're working by yourself, you're automatically your own team lead. So the things that the team lead is in charge of, they have to coordinate with your point of contact if your event has any POS, which are giveaways, or any uniforms. Not all events have POS or uniforms. So it will say in the POS section of your booking confirmation email whether or not your event does have any. The team lead is also going to be the one who calls the location in advance to confirm that you're on their schedule and that they have enough product in stock. The team lead will also have to be mindful that you're taking the required amount of photos. That's going to be 10 for on-premise events, 10 photos. It's going to be more if you're working a longer bar hop, but it will always say in your booking confirmation email how many how many photos we are expecting from your event. The team lead will also be the one contacting the booking agent in case of any issues or problems that arise. Your booking confirmation should have a phone number that has the Talent Tree check-in line on it. It's the 469-888-0220 number. That is the number that you'll be contacting in case of any issues. I will repeat that number at the end if you don't have that. The team lead will also close out the bar tab at the end of your event, and they will also be submitting the event recap within 24 hours. So the event recap is that form that you do online. Just lets us know how the event went. We ask you how many samples you gave out, and you'll be uploading your photos to that recap form as well. So all of these responsibilities are for the team lead. If your team lead asks you to do any of these things, please let us know. They shouldn't be doing that. That's why they're being compensated more, because they are in charge of all of these things. So, they shouldn't be delegating any of these tasks to the brand ambassadors that are assisting them. All right, moving on. So before your event, team lead is going to call the location to confirm that you're on the schedule and that you have enough product in stock to perform the event. Everybody should double check that you're that you're going to the right location. I know some of these places, they have multiple locations in one city. If it's like a Twin Peaks or a Tilted Hills or anything like that, just make sure you're going to the correct one, please. And you do want to study your product knowledge. I know that it says print and study, but let's save some trees. You don't have to print it out. Just make sure that you're reading it and that you know what you're talking about with consumers. If this is the very first time that you're working a certain brand, you do want to respond to your booking confirmation email with 5 talking points. This is just 5 tidbits that you find interesting about the product that you're representing. So good examples would be things like, the alcohol percentage or what it's made of or where it's from, just things that you're going to discuss with consumers. Ensure that you have all POS or uniforms. Again, POS is going to be any giveaways, so keychains or stickers or shirts. Only certain events require uniforms. It will say in your booking confirmation email whether you have POS or uniforms that are needed. Ensure you have your identification on you. You are handling alcohol. Sometimes you'll be asked for proof that you're of age. If you are in a state that requires a liquor license, so that's going to be places like Texas. Also, let's see, I can't actually think of another state right off the top of my head right now that requires liquor licensing, but you want to bring a copy of that. And then your Comdata company credit card, or if you don't have a company card, temporary payment information. So we will be sending temporary payment information to everybody the morning of your event. Moving on to the next slide. So when you arrive, we do ask that you show up a few minutes before your actual start time. We recommend 15 minutes. It just gives you a buffer in case there's traffic or you're getting lost trying to find where to park or anything like that. It gives you some extra time to be prepared. You are going to do an on-site check-in. So you can either do this through the actual website on your phone, just make sure your location services are turned on. Sometimes it doesn't like to check you in using the website, especially if you have an iPhone for some reason. So in that case, if it's not letting you check in on site using the website, you're just going to take a selfie in front of the location and text it to the Talent Tree line. So again, that line phone number is 469-888-0220. And don't worry, I will repeat that again at the end. So you're going to do your on-site check-in. If you are working with another girl, you do want to walk in together, so meet up with her. And also, your partner's contact information will be on your booking confirmation email. You must be dressed and ready when you walk in. We don't want you primping or finishing your hair and makeup in the event location's restroom or anything like that. Just don't show up like you rolled out of bed, please. If you run into any issues at this point, go ahead and contact your booking agent by texting the Talent Tree line. All right, so during your event, when you walk in, you will want to find the manager on duty. Introduce yourself, be cordial. Thank them for letting you do the promotion at their location and tell them that you're there. So let's say I'm doing a Fireball location. So I would say, hi, I'm Isabel. I'm here to do Fireball. Can you direct me where to go? They will probably direct you to the bar. Introduce yourself to the bartender. Let them know what you are sampling. And tell them the maximum tab. So the max tab is going to be on your booking confirmation email. Normally it's $100 or $150. Just let them know your maximum and ask them to please remind you when you're getting close to reaching that max. You don't want to go over that, which is obviously why it's called a maximum. If you're under that, it's fine. Just make sure that you're not going anywhere over that max. You do want to find out any prices or specials, any promotions that they have on your brand for the night so that you can tell consumers about that. Now, if your BCE says you have 100 plus 20, that means your tab is 100 and you have $20 maximum to tip. So your max tab does not include tips. Just be sure that when you are taking a picture of your receipt at the end of the night after you close out, that you are showing us the full amount, including the tip. So I want to just take a side note. This isn't written on the slideshow, but for those of you doing Heineken or other beer events this weekend, it will either say drafts or bottles. Just keep in mind you are giving out full beers. You're not going to be splitting that into sample cups or anything like that. So you are giving out full beers for those brands. So to use promo time efficiently, if you are passing out full beers and they give you a tray or a bucket to use, just make sure the logo on the tray or bucket matches the actual product that you're handing out. You really don't want to be using any trays or buckets that have competitors' logos on them or anything. If they don't have a bucket or tray that matches the brand that you're using, and they don't have just a plain one, then just pass out a few at a time with your hands. Always go to the bigger groups and tables first, and then if you have time, come around to the smaller groups. Try to reward customers that are already drinking your brand. Try to target people who are drinking similar but competing brands. And of course, be mindful that you need 10 photos. If you get to a location and they don't have product in stock or they're saying that you're not on the schedule, just text the Talent Tree line immediately. Let us know what's happening. Also, I know that I keep mentioning to text the Talent Tree line. That's because it is a text-only line. We have multiple people who are contacting us through that cell phone. So we want to make sure that we can prioritize the more urgent matters, which is why we do ask you to text. So if you run out of product already, or you hit your bar tab maximum and you still have time on your event, that does not mean you get to leave. Please just text us, let us know what's happening. You can't leave early unless you have approval. So closing out, this is going to be the team lead's job. It's just like when you're out for the night, you do want to close out your bar tab at the end. Tip 20% always, even if you didn't hit your total. And then the manager on duty is going to sign your receipt and give you guys a grade on your performance, A+ through F. If they have any comments or anything like that, they can write it on the receipt as well. You do want to take a picture of this receipt immediately, just in case you lose it, because we do require that you turn in a copy with your recap form. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but please make sure you are taking a photo and showing the entire total, including the tip. If there's a team lead and you had uniforms or POS, return any leftover POS and your uniform to the team lead. We do rotate those out, so we want to make sure that they're being returned. So this slide has examples of the photos that we love to see. If you're working with another girl, try and ask somebody to get a picture of you two together. Oh, actually, side note also, if you are working with another girl and you don't have a uniform, if it instructs you just to wear, let's say, a black cocktail dress and heels, just make sure you guys look like you actually go together. Try and coordinate your outfits. Don't have one girl in a long sleeve shirt and one in a strapless, or one girl in flats and one girl in heels. Just make sure that you guys actually look like you go together. Be as matchy as possible. And then back to the photo examples. Any signage or displays that they have of the brand that you're representing, we would love to see that. Pictures of consumers drinking the product or cheersing each other. Those are all great examples. Photos of you interacting with consumers. Obviously, if you're working alone, this is going to be a bit difficult to get. So don't worry about that. But if you're working with another girl, it's pretty easy to get pictures of you guys interacting with consumers. Please note, try not to get any competing brands in the shot. Obviously, this is going to be difficult if you're at a bar and there's signage everywhere, but just don't have, don't upload a photo of a consumer in front of a giant competitor sign, please. The clients do see these pictures. And since the clients do see these pictures, don't upload any shots with inappropriate behavior in them. I know people get kind of rowdy when they're out and drinking, so I would think that you guys have enough common sense not to upload any inappropriate behavior pictures, but just keep that in mind. All right, and then social media. So we do highly encourage you guys to send your photos into our Instagram. We do love to feature you on our stories throughout the weekend. Also, you can hashtag TalentTree. Feel free to tag the client and tag the brand. They love to see that as well. And of course, like us on our Facebook and Instagram posts, because we do like to give shout outs. So this last slide is just the frequently asked questions. If you don't meet out your total tab because the bar is slow, again, that's fine. You don't have to meet the maximum. You just don't want to go over that max. Just close out, tip 20% of your total. So if the rep shows up, so sometimes the client representative will show up, they want to see how the event's going, and sometimes they would like to pay the tab for you. That's completely fine. Just click no receipt when you're closing out your recap, and then add a comment saying that the rep paid. If the rep shows up and they want to increase your bar spend, that's also fine. They're the client, so pretty much whatever they want is fine. Just make sure you're texting the TalentTree line so that we can increase your credit limit, and then note that in your closing notes on your recap. If the account is out of product when you arrive, even though you already confirmed, text the TalentTree line and let us know. Sometimes we can have you sample another product from the client's portfolio, or if you have POS, you can just pass that out. If not, you will be paid for an hour and sent home, or if it's a bar hop, you'll go to the next account. Just make sure you are keeping communication open with us. If you're working with a partner and they don't show up, so sadly this does happen sometimes. Sometimes we have no-shows. We're going to do our very best to send another girl, but in the worst case scenario, you may need to conduct the promo without them. So it's good that you're all doing training right now. If you're not the team lead and your team lead flakes and you happen to have uniforms, we actually advise that everybody keep just a spare black cocktail dress in their car, just in case this ever happens. I don't believe the events this weekend, especially Fireball, you guys don't have uniforms, so this shouldn't be an issue, but just for future notes. If you don't have a ComData card yet and you are booked, like I said, we will be sending you the temporary payment information the morning of your event. They're just going to manually enter that for payment. Now, since we have a few girls working who are going to be using the temporary payment information, Sometimes they attempt to use it at the same time at different events, and then it will get declined. If that happens, you know, it's just because somebody else is running it at the same time. Just wait a second, have them run it again. If it gets declined again, then text the Talent Tree line so we can look into it. If there's another brand at the bar being promoted when you arrive, again, just text the Talent Tree line. That phone number again is 469-888-0220. Let us know what's happening. It is a case-by-case basis. So like I said, communication is key whenever you run into issues. So just let us know what's going on. All right, and so that is actually all I have for you guys tonight. I would like to open up the floor for any questions that you might have or any concerns. So if you want to just unmute your phones, I'll be happy to address any of those.
This is Whitney from Atlanta, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody leaves together, because I didn't do that last weekend, and I had an incident happen, and just like reiterate, reiterate, you know, for everybody to leave together.
Definitely. So buddy system, you know, make sure if you're walking from location to a bar hop, make sure you're sticking together, you know, well areas, your safety is really important to us. So if you are working alone, most of our solo events is just one location. You know, try and park in a very well lit area. Just keep us updated. We want to make sure you are safe the entire time. And thank you so much for bringing that up.
This is Kenzie from Chicago. I just wanted to know, how do we know if we have another girl with us?
Yeah, so I can actually check for you. It really depends.
Okay.
They'll say you are working with on your booking confirmation email if there's another girl working with you, and that will be that'll have her contact information. If that is blank, that means you're working alone.
Okay, great. And I also had a question about paying the tab. I don't have a com card, which I saw in the email.
Yeah. So we will text the credit card information, and you're just going to hang on to that for all of your future events until you get your Comdata card in the mail.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And also, if we have the Comdata card, will that pay for like parking if we had to like pay for parking, or does that come out of our own pocket?
No, we do reimburse parking. Just make sure you hang on to your parking receipts or your parking stubs. We'll ask for those. Okay, great. Anybody else?
Yes, hello, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, hi, this is Lydia from Dallas, and I have a question. If you are doing, you're working a bar hopping event, and your booking confirmation email shows the time, for example, 7 to 8:15, and then the other event, the other location shows 8:15 to 9:30. Does this mean I leave at 8 o'clock, like work an hour, like 7 to 8, and then 15 minutes for the drive there, or how would I?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, everybody working a bar hop, especially in the future. So if you are working a bar hop and it says, you know, to 8:15, and then your next start time is also 8:15, drive time is actually built into that. So you're just going to leave your first location in time to get to your second location at the start time. So if it says 8:15 and it takes 15 minutes to get there, leave your first location at 8.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. So if there are no other questions, or if you happen to think of one later, please feel free to reach out and email me. I am more than happy to help you guys out. I am the talent acquisition manager here, so it is my job to make sure everybody is fully prepped and comfortable before their event. And if everybody who's on the call right now, if you could just respond to the training email that has the information for tonight's call on it with the keyword Friday, so I know that you attended tonight's call, that would be great. And I will mark you all off as trained for on-premise events. So again, just type the word Friday, and I will mark you off as trained. And just one last time, that Talent Tree check-in line phone number is 469-888-0220. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and wonderful events. We appreciate every single one of you. Have a good night.
Thank you. You
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.